Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Now, the good folks at Benq reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try their ultra-wide monitor. Well, I'm not really a reviewer of products and I've got quite a nice triple monitor setup right here, but then I read on and it said it was a sim racing monitor, which then got my attention. So this is the monitor in question. It's the Benq Mobiuz Gaming 1 millisecond 144 Hz ultra-wide curved sim racing monitor. Now, sim racing monitor, it actually says that in the title, and the model number is EX3415R. Now, there's loads and loads of specifications on here, which I'm not going to go into. There's only a few things that really interest me when I'm looking for a monitor. But let's have a little look down the product page here. So some nice little screenshots, HDRI technology, which I've tested, which is really cool, by the way. So here again, Mobiuz, the gaming monitor for sim racing. Intensity like never before. Bring your games to life with the Mobiuz, the 21:9 1900R curved screen heightens intense imagery and deploys a sound feel for your best gaming experience. The built-in racing mode gives a wild field of view, sharp visuals and smooth lighting effects. Imagine yourself rounding the corner with a clear, stable view of the finish line. We all dream of that. So, nice monitor, kind of targeted towards sim racers. Now, yes, you can sim race on any monitor, but obviously the more resolution, the better. And I've had ultra-wide monitors in the past, which are a really, really good compromise for those that don't have the space. But they still take up quite a bit of room. I've had a couple of 49-inch Samsung ultra-wides, and yes, they are nice. Great compromise. But they're wide, they're really wide. They are super ultra-wide, obviously. The 34-inch just makes things a little bit more manageable, as I've found with it on the rig over my left shoulder. So there's a few numbers that I look for when I'm buying a monitor. This seems to tick all the boxes. So firstly, 34 inches. I've been running a 32-inch monitor on the other rig for a while now, which is fine, which is great, but you do lose a little bit of that horizontal field of view when you're just running 16:9. This is 21:9, so a lot more horizontal field of view. Resolution wise, 3440 by 1440, so plenty of pixels there to make it look absolutely stunning. It's an IPS panel, and these tend to be a little bit more expensive. There's a lot of VA panels out there which can match this in relation to refresh rates, but you do get a little bit of screen tearing sometimes with the VA panels. So the IPS panels are better, but a little bit more expensive. And 1 millisecond response time. The lower the response time, the better, obviously. Now, I'm not going to go into all the specifications on the monitor. There's loads of videos, loads of information on the internet. If you want to go and watch those, feel free. I thought the best way to show you what it's like is stick the GoPro on my head and film me playing a couple of different simulators. That won't translate very well to a video because you never do when you record the screen. You'll just have to take my word for it that the actual image quality is absolutely perfect. I genuinely can't fault it. It's beautiful. So we're going to try ACC, iRacing, a bit of Dirt Rally, and to finish off, we're going to jump in Flight Sim. So enough waffling on. Let's get on with it. So we'll start with ACC. So this is the field of view that I've got set up. It actually looks really good. So I can see there the right hand side of the car, the front right wing. So field of view is actually plenty. Let's take a bit of drive. Hopefully this translates into the video.
Low tire pressure, stay clear of the curbs.
Don't know if it will or not, but this is without HDR on, so we'll do a little drive and then I'll show you what it looks like with HDR on. So we're driving the Porsche. Badly. So this would be absolutely fine for sim racing as far as field of view goes for me on ACC. Looks absolutely fine. Yeah, we don't see the left hand side mirror. Now you'll have to forgive my bad driving. It's a while since I've been on ACC. But it looks pretty good. Oh, blimey, corkscrew issues. But you'll see the difference when I put HDR on. So everything looks really nice now. Everything's really clear, but when you turn on the HDR on the monitor, I think it just transforms it. There's 3 different modes on HDR on this monitor, and you access them with the remote control, or there's this button down here on the right hand side. So right now we've got HDR off, so this is game HDR, then there's cinema HDR, and then there's display HDR, and I think I prefer that one, display HDR, because all the shadows are so much darker. The track's got a little bit more, it looks a little bit more realistic, the track, the actual track surface. Everything just seems to pop a little bit more. Everything just stands out, all the colours. You know, the trackside objects and stuff, it just seems to come to life. Now, you can't record the HDR settings in OBS. You know, if I was going to capture the screen, it doesn't capture the change in colours. So this is the only way that I can demonstrate the actual change in what it looks like. Hopefully that's coming across on the GoPro. Let's quickly switch back. So that's the display HDR, and then that's it normal. So as you can see, it just looks a little bit washed out. There are lots of different profiles that we can choose from. We get this nifty little remote control. So at the moment we've got on racing game, that's custom, sRGB, mBook, then ePaper. So back to the HDRs there. So we've got first person shooter, role playing game, racing game. So I think racing game is the best for me without the HDR on, but I like the HDR, so it's the display HDR that I like. I think it looks really nice. So that's Assetto Corsa Competizione. Gives you an idea of colours, the field of view. So I'm round about 58 centimetres away from the monitor now, 60 centimetres. This thing, it's quite far away, so I've only got my arms stretched out there, they're bent slightly, just to give you an idea of scale. But field of view, the dashboard looks in proportion to my wheel, and I can still see the front right wing. So ACC, happy days. Alright, so we'll have a look at iRacing now. So this is the field of view that you get on iRacing. So again, you can see the front right of the front right wing there. The dash doesn't seem as big as it did in ACC, but that's an iRacing field of view issue, not the monitor. We could dial that in. We could make changes to the field of view and also just tweak the camera settings in the sim, no problem. But hopefully it's coming across how it would look in iRacing. But this field of view here right now wouldn't be a problem in iRacing, that's for certain. You can see the whole front of the car there. turn HDR on in a second so we can have a look and see what that looks like here at Long Beach. Late afternoon. Get around these few turns, try and get around this pesky hairpin. Anybody that's raced Long Beach knows that this hairpin's a nightmare. Right, let's have a look. Put HDR on, so it's off right now. So that's game HDR, cinema HDR, and display HDR. I think, yeah, probably display HDR again. Let's have a look. So everything obviously is much darker on the dashboard there. Let's see how that changes with the light. But again, everything just pops with that HDR selected. Everything just looks a little bit more realistic, I think. The lighting. The shadows are nice. When you go through the shadows, everything darkens obviously, and then you get those blasts of sunlight, and the back of the car is facing the sun. It just makes the experience a little bit more realistic, I think. I've never been one really to mess around with HDR too much, but since I've been testing this monitor, I've come to definitely appreciate it a lot more. Because I create content obviously on the channel, and HDR is something that isn't captured very well on OBS. I never really paid it any attention. But my word, it does make things look pretty. So Dirt Rally. So field of view is a little bit different on this one, but we can still see the front of the front wing there. How do I go?
5,
There
4,
we go.
3, 2,
Oh, jump start.
1, go.
That's
50,
okay.
6 left of a crest.
So I'm
Into
not
6 right
the
of a
best
crest.
rally driver.
Extra long, 30. 4 right. Into 6 left of a crest. Extra long, tightens 3 of a crest.
Gives you an idea of what it looks like. So this is without HDR on, obviously.
Into cut, 3 right
Oh,
long.
blimey.
Opens 6 of a crest. 30.
Let's put HDR on, let's have a look.
Crest long.
So that's the one I've been using, display HDR. So that's off, game HDR, cinema HDR, display HDR. I think I actually like game HDR.
Into 6 right long, water splash, 30.
Blimey, that is dark through here.
4 left of a crest. Into cut 4 right long.
Crikey.
Into cut 5 left. Slow 30. Turn cut 4 left. Into hairpin right.
I don't know what he's saying. I heard hairpin right. Oh, where's the hairpin right?
50.
Here. Around here.
6 left. 120.
But actually this is
bridge.
pretty good.
6 left long, tightens don't cut turn.
I need to
3.
sort out my steering. It's not doing what I wanted to. But when you go into the shade, it looks like, gives you that impression that you really are in the shade.
100.
I know that goes without saying, but the HDR really does add something.
Tightens 5 of a crest. Extra.
Let's turn it off again. Let's just have a quick look.
Tightens 3.
That's cinema HDR, and that's off there. So yeah, it just looks a little bit washed out, doesn't it?
Cut 4 left.
Compared to what it looks like with the HDR on. We'll put it back on. Yeah, that much better. Much
Into
better.
5 right of a crest, tightens 30.
So we've done ACC, we've done
5 right of a
iRacing,
bump at sign.
and we've done Dirt
Cut,
Rally
left,
2.0.
5 right
And all of them
80.
are actually
Turn unseen, 3
really
right
good
long, opens
as
of a
far as
crest,
field of view goes and
crest 50.
how it looks. I would definitely be able to sim race with this monitor.
Crest, 4 left
But I want
long,
to try and
towards
see what it looks like
opens
in
of
a flight
crest,
sim.
into 6 left
So I
of a
think we'll
crest,
do that now.
50.
Right, so here we are, having a fly around at Naples. As you can see, looks beautiful. But this is what you get with the ultra-wide in Flight Simulator. We could probably make some adjustments to the actual cockpit itself, make it a little bit further away, easier to see. And I haven't set up any buttons to change anything. But it's actually pretty darn good. So this is Naples. This is actually really good. I normally play Flight Simulator on just a single screen because I can't seem to get it to work properly with triples. But having the extra space on the sides makes all the difference, it really does. And it's actually running it quite well. Obviously the resolution's quite high, but it's actually running it really smoothly. And the system that I'm on now, it's the second system, so I think it's only got a 2060 in, so it's not got the high powered graphics card that I've got in the main system. But there is quite a lot of pixels to push in with this monitor, and in Flight Sim, as you can see, looks absolutely beautiful. So we'll try HDR though with Flight Sim, so it's off at the moment. So this is game HDR. You can see all the shadows are much more pronounced now. We'll go to Cinema HDR, a little bit brighter, and that's Display HDR. I think I prefer Game HDR, I think. Let's turn around towards the sun, so you can see the cockpit's a lot darker. I want to see as we get round by the sun how the light affects the cockpit. Where is the sun actually? Is it up there? It should light up the cockpit pretty soon, hopefully. Not yet. Waiting for it. A little bit on that side. Yeah, it's brightening up a little bit. You can see on the right hand side there now. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. That looks stunning. Unbelievable. Incredible. This makes me want to just play Flight Sim a bit more. Unbelievable. Now I don't know where the airport is. I'm not going to bore you trying to land this thing, but I think you'll agree that it looks brilliant. Now I don't know whether I can land on train tracks or not. Probably not. I'll probably crash here. Don't know how close my wings are to that building. She's struggling to draw all this now though. Oh, I'm running out of running out of train track to land on. I don't just want to quit the game. I like to... Oh, crikey, stall. Right, so these poor people are going to be terrified of me skimming the top of their houses with my plane. Right. Can we? Definitely not. Definitely not. Maybe. Maybe, what do you reckon? That'll do. But I don't know where. We're going to crash, we're going to crash, we're going to crash! So we've had a look at the monitor, we've had a play around with it for a day or two. What do I think? Would I buy one? So Benq has this down at £899, but it's also available at these other retailers here. Now, I use eBuyer quite a lot for my electrical items. I always think they have a really good selection of whatever you're looking for to compare prices against. Now, here's the Mobiuz monitor here they've been looking at. So on eBuyer, it's actually £849, so it's 50 quid cheaper buying it through eBuyer. Now, if you look at the monitors, what you're comparing it against, so an IPS panel, so these are VA panels. So there, we've got one there, the Asus Tough Gaming, 100 hertz, so it's 44 less hertz, same resolution, but it's a VA panel, and that's 579. So it's like, what, 280 quid less than the Benq one, but 44 less frames per second you're going to get, and it's a VA panel. So we've got this AOC Gaming, that's the Super Ultra Wide, that's a 49 inch, that's 907, but that's 120 hertz, and that's a VA panel. So we've got this LG 38 inch QHD, so that's 144 hertz. That's an IPS panel, 1 millisecond response time, so you're getting an extra 4 inches, which is a lot. You know what I'm saying? But it's costing you like £400 more, £500 more for those 4 inches, which is ridiculous. We've got this, that's a VA panel, IPS panel there, but that's only 75 hertz. So price-wise, it actually sits quite nicely in the market. I don't think it's expensive for what it is when you compare it with other monitors. Now, so I checked the prices. So on eBuyer, it's $849.99. On Scan, it's $839.98. So 840. That's it on eBuyer. That's it on Amazon. So $839.98. So on Amazon. And then on Box, it's $849. So the cheapest is Amazon and Scan at $840. So would I buy one? Well, as I mentioned earlier on, I've previously owned the Samsung Super Ultra Wide, and I think for my first one, I think I paid something like £1,200 for it, and that was a 1080 monitor. And those things are really nice. The Super Ultra Wides are great, but they are huge. They really are big. And as you can see, this one sits on the other rig really nicely, and it's not intrusive. It doesn't stick out too far. It fits on there perfectly. So size-wise, I think it fits brilliantly. I can't fault the image quality. Genuinely, I think it looks absolutely perfect. It ticks all the right boxes. It's got the right resolution. It's got the right response time. It's got the HDR technology built in. 144 hertz, 840 quid. A lot of money. If I was in the market for a monitor, a single screen, then I think I would probably rather have the 34 inch than the 49 inch, because you're limited where you can put the 49 inch. It's got to be back to the wall. It can't stick out. So it's a thumbs up from me. Sim racing monitor. I don't know if it's a sim racing monitor. It's got one mode in the settings for driving sim or something like that. But it's just a 34 inch ultra wide monitor that can be used for everything. It just so happens that I've tried it and it works perfectly for sim racing. So just for transparency, I didn't pay for this item. Benq sent this out to me for free to test and review and have a look at. So buy one if you want, don't buy one. But my honest, genuine opinion is that it's an absolutely cracking monitor. And if you're in the market for a monitor and you've got that kind of budget, then this is definitely worth a look. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good week. See you later. Cheers.